6 women cornered my teenage daughter at a farmer's market, screaming that she was unchristian, all because she didn't want to be around her dead father's affair babies. What they didn't know was, I had receipts, and I was about to turn my ex-mother-in-law's entire church community against her, using the one thing they cared about most, her son's dirty little secrets. If you've ever been gaslit, harassed, or shamed by someone who pretended to be holy while hiding their own sins, hit that like button and subscribe. Because what you're about to hear is the kind of revenge that's so satisfying it'll make you believe in karma. Direct hit E, full narrative expansion, 6 to 13 minutes. Part 1. The storm after the death. When my ex-husband died last year, you'd think that would be the end of the pain. But for my daughters and me, it was just the beginning. I'm 46, a single mom to 2 amazing daughters, 17 and 15. We were just starting to heal after a brutal divorce sparked by my ex-husband's affair. But then tragedy. He and his mistress, yes, that mistress, died in an accident, leaving behind 2 little boys from their affair. Orphaned. And guess who stepped in like vultures circling the emotional wreckage? My ex-in-laws. 2 people who hadn't lifted a finger when their son was cheating suddenly wanted full custody of my daughters, and even tried to move in with us. Yeah, not happening. It's not that my daughters are heartless. They found out about the affair. They were the ones who accidentally saw the texts, the photos. And they blame themselves for telling me. Imagine being a teenager and thinking you broke the family by exposing your dad's lies. They've been in therapy since. So no, they weren't about to play happy siblings to their dad's secret children. But my ex-mother-in-law didn't care. What she wanted was control. And when she didn't get it, she decided to go nuclear. Part 2. The Market Ambush. It was supposed to be a happy day, my youngest's birthday weekend. We were at the local farmer's market, just the 3 of us. She had a little spending budget and was off picking out chocolates and sweets. It felt peaceful until I got the call. My daughter was sobbing. Mom, some women, they're yelling at me, saying I'm going to hell. My heart dropped. I ran across the market with my older daughter. And there they were, 6 older women, surrounding my youngest like a pack of judgmental wolves. Church ladies. Self-righteous. And they were attacking a 15-year-old girl for not forgiving her grandparents, for not embracing her orphan half-brothers, and for being a selfish, ungodly teenager. I saw red. I told my older daughter to take her sister and get to the car. Then I turned and unleashed years of rage on these women. Some I even recognized from my ex-in-law's church, a place I once visited for Easter service and potlucks. They told me I was a failed wife for not obeying my husband's parents, that I had turned my daughters against God. One even said a Christian wife would have accepted the boys. Excuse me? We were eventually all asked to leave the market. But these women, they followed us to the car, hurling accusations as if I was the one who betrayed a family. My girls were shaking in the back seat as I drove off. I could feel it, the rage boiling up. That night, I found out why it all happened. Part 3. The Church Lies. I messaged a mutual friend from that church. Someone decent. Someone who still had some sense. He sent me screenshots of a Facebook post from my ex-mother-in-law. It was an epic-length sob story. In it, she painted herself and her husband as abandoned, grieving elders, claimed we stole their grandkids, their home, and their dignity. She said the boys were surrogates. Yes, surrogates, that I couldn't have children, and so her son found someone else to help expand the family. Then accused me of rejecting the boys because they were boys. I felt physically sick. That wasn't just a lie. That was a calculated character assassination. And it wasn't just about me. She was turning her church, her community, and those 6 rabid women against my children. But here's the thing about that church. They may turn a blind eye to homophobia, but cheating? That's their mortal sin. So I decided to do what any good daughter-in-law would do. I told the truth. Part 4. The Binders of Revelation. I was off work the next day. I grabbed a flash drive and went to a print shop. The evidence? Oh, I had plenty. Photos of my ex kissing his affair partner. In our living room. Text messages. Late night, I miss you, S, and I can't wait until she's gone, S. Screenshots of conversations with his parents supporting the affair.
Even laughing about it.
And worst of all, emails and texts from my ex-in-laws to my daughters, saying things like, "You ruined your father's life," and even calling them bastards. Some of those messages were sent 2 days after their father died. I paid extra for glossy, full-color printouts. Then I went home and made him book-style binders, cheerful, churchy-looking covers, and on the inside, the first page was a high-res picture of my ex and his mistress, making out. Captioned, "The true love story of ex's name and affair partner." The next morning, I dropped off the binders at the back table of the church, the one where they keep the hymnals. No one checks it. No one ever checks it. Part 5. The Church Eruption. What happened next was biblical. The church Facebook page blew up. The gossip mill spun out of control. People were furious, not just at my ex and his affair partner, but at his parents for their cruelty. The pastor had to step in to moderate because the language got too nasty. And let me tell you, when a church lady calls someone a Jezebel, they don't mean it kindly. But the irony? Some still blamed me for the divorce. But in their words, it was now understandable that I had fallen from grace because of such betrayal. They even hoped I'd return to the light one day. Meanwhile, my daughters got apology letters. Handwritten. One of them included an invite to a youth forgiveness retreat. I nearly laughed myself into a coma. But the cherry on top? My ex-mother-in-law was shamed out of the church. She posted on her Facebook wall, crying about being alienated, abandoned by society, and forgotten in her golden years. She wrote about how no one cared for the elderly anymore and how her great son would have taken care of her if he were still alive. Really? With what money? I was the breadwinner. He barely held a job. And those boys she pretended to care so deeply about? They're living with distant relatives now. Safe. Away from her. She wanted sympathy. She got silence. And peace, well, that finally returned to my daughters' lives. Revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about telling the truth so loudly, the lies can't breathe anymore. You can only play the victim for so long before your mask slips. And when it does, make sure you have receipts. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and comment below. What would you have done in my shoes? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma doesn't just knock, it kicks the door down. Until next time, keep your heads high and your receipts ready.